I'm Heather O'Leary with Exp Realty, and I'm here to help you figure out how to sell your home for the most amount of money. And as a seller, you probably know your property pretty well. However, it might be a good idea to get a pre-inspection. When we go to sell, price is definitely important, but also the condition of your home is incredibly important as well. A pre-inspection will allow you to find out what a buyer might look at as a problem in your home. At inspection, we negotiate for any kind of issues that a buyer might have a problem with. And the interesting part is sometimes you don't know what's important to a buyer. Sometimes a buyer might think that the windows are really important, or the furnace, or maybe some electrical outlets. So when we talk about pre-inspections, we're not looking at actually fixing everything that's wrong with your property. I recommend to my clients that we do a pre-inspection in order to just get a general sense of what the problems are with the property. Now, if you already know what's wrong with your property, you can definitely just do the seller property disclosure. I have a whole nother video on that, and just disclose to the buyer, here are the problems with the property, and then go on the market and see what a buyer might think is important, or maybe they don't think some of the things are important. The other problem with doing a pre-inspection is that very often they're like 80-page reports with, tons and tons of bullet points of anything that could be a potential issue. And I will say inspectors are not certified in each trade area. So every single inspection report will state on it that you should have a licensed professional look at this section of the property. So as a seller, you actually might decide that instead of doing a comprehensive pre-inspection, that you would want to have just certain things looked at. There are some really high ticket items that I would recommend. I would recommend having a roofer check to see if there has been any recent hail damage, and see if the hail damage that might be there actually warrants an insurance claim. You as a seller have the responsibility to file an insurance claim for any hail damage that's done while you are the owner of the property. Also, there might be hail damage there that the inspector finds, but an insurance adjuster would not deem worthy of any kind of repairs. And that could be helpful to just speak with the roofer about. And I have a very great one if you need one. Next up, the other high ticket items include a sewer scope. If the home is a little bit older and you haven't paid attention to your sewer, it's helpful to find out what a buyer might be looking at. Now, not every buyer will try to negotiate for the sewer to be cleaned out or repaired. They might just accept this as is for the property, but being aware of it definitely helps. Also, the HVAC and water heater system is really important. I personally like the idea of having it certified and serviced right before we go to listing. That way we can provide that information to a potential buyer and say, hi, we've taken care of this property. The systems are intact. Maybe they're a little bit older, but they're still in working order, and we have certifications to state that they are. Additionally, I like to recommend having an electrician look at, or at least look at a picture of the electrical panel. And then you can kind of also look at the house to find out if there are GFCI outlets in the appropriate places, kitchens, bathrooms, maybe in the garage or the laundry room. These kinds of pre-inspections are a little bit more costly than doing like a comprehensive home inspection. However, I personally think you probably end up paying for those anyway. And if you hire me as one of the offerings in my tiered seller listing package, I will actually pay for these inspectors to come in and give us reports about your property, because the whole purpose of my job is to help you sell for the most amount of money and to net you the most amount of money at closing. And if we have a buyer who comes in and they are trying to negotiate for tens of thousands of dollars for, windows and HVAC or something like that, that's money out of your pocket. So I want to prevent those issues in advance. I'm Heather O'Leary, your Colorado homegirl with Exp Realty. If you have questions on the selling process, let me know. Sign up on my link tree below. I talk to people all the time who are just in the process of deciding what to do when they move.